Hello everyone, my name is Eli and behind me is my 1972 Datsun 510. I have decided to change the quarter panels. My car used to be flared and it is now obviously not flared. I've never done this before, so this is a learning experience for me. However, I've noticed that there are quite a few differences between a OEM replacement quarter panel and a actual aftermarket quarter panel. There seems to be a little bit of interest on this. I've seen a couple of people on the old Facebook there talking about the differences. Seems like some people are having some challenges and some differences. So I decided to put this video together just to show you guys where are the biggest differences. Sorry, my little ventilator just came in. So if I'm gonna cover some of these things with you guys just to show you what the differences are. I'm gonna start by talking about the OEM quarter panel. I was lucky enough to have a OEM quarter panel. I've probably had it for, I don't know, maybe about 18 years or so. And I've been saving it, to do my car and to bring it back to not flared. So to make a long story short, my car was flared. I flared it, or actually, I had someone else flared it for me. And at the time, I thought, well, it was a good idea. But as years went by, I decided, that's not really what I want. And this flare cars are pretty cool. I'm okay with that. It's just not what I wanted, for my car. Sorry, my neighbor's kid is screaming. So let's talk about what the differences are here, and maybe I can help some of you, through this process. So on a factory quarter panel, and I've never done this before. I've never actually, done any kind of replacement of structural quarter panels like this. And so for me, this was a first. So after I removed the quarter panel that was here on the car, and this car, I've had it for many, many years. It's never been hit. I know because I was the second owner, and when I bought it back in 1988, I think it was, it only had approximately 67,000 original miles. Yes, it did belong to the little old lady that everybody talks about. All right, so to start with, I thought, well, this is not too bad because when I put this quarter panel on, everything matched perfectly. Everything went perfectly well. I replaced the inner fender as well, and everything matched the inner fender. So I was very happy because everything was matching absolutely perfect. And it was easy. To be honest with you, now looking back, compared to what I got going on the other side, it was a piece of cake. So one of the big differences that I'm going to be pointing out is on the aftermarket quarter panel, there is a section that goes right here where I have my hand. I think you guys can see it right now. In that section right there, it is a two-piece. So there is a piece that is attached to the quarter panel from factory, and it prevents you from sticking your hand through here. Okay, that piece is not does not come with the replacement quarter panel. So the aftermarket replacement quarter panel. So make sure you do not throw your old quarter panel out, and that you take this piece out first because you're going to need it. Then the rest of it went pretty easy. I decided to stitch my quarter panel right here instead of separating the roof from the quarter panel, and because I thought, you know what, I'm not an expert at this, and I don't want things to, again, I apologize guys. That's my neighbor decided to crank up his leaf blower. So I'm going to try to talk over that if you can hear it. So right here, is where I decided to stitch it. I wanted to keep my stitching to the minimum so that I have the least amount of body work to do when it comes to stitching. Now I'm going to take you to see some other pieces in the back so that you can actually see where the differences are. So I'm going to take my camera and move over here to the back so that I can actually cover some of these things here with you. And guys, I'm not a big camera person, so please bear with me here while I position my camera so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so this area right here, it was okay to get it to match. I wanted to actually cut it and splice it in exactly the way the factory did it, so that I could have, you know, everything here to match perfectly and to be as conspicuous, I guess is the word, so that I could make it look like factory again and at least try to get close to that as possible. This matched perfectly here. There's a little ridge right here, and that ridge has to match the ridge from the tail light panel. That actually matched very well. It was no problem on that. There's also a section right here that needs to match the line that comes from the tail light panel all the way over here. As you can see, there's a body line that comes right through here, and that body line has to match the turn that this quarter panel takes here. So these two, the quarter panel body line and this, has to match to go in there perfectly. So this was not a bad deal. It was pretty easy to do. So let's talk about now the other side. And I'm going to take my camera through here. Give me a couple of seconds. Let me go ahead and adjust this a little bit. All right, so let's come around here and let's talk about this right here. My Lord, this is driving me insane. So let's talk about it. All right, so remember when I told you that the factory quarter panel does not come with a piece that goes right here where your hand goes in and out right here? See that? This is the piece right here. This is the piece that you need to save from the other quarter panel. Sorry, I'm very sorry, guys. My neighbor has decided to... okay, hopefully you guys can hear me. You can't hear that a lot. So this is the panel right here, and let me close the door because this is too much. All right, well, maybe you guys can hear me a little bit better. Let's talk about this again. Bear with me for a second. Okay, so this is a piece right here that I needed to take out of the other quarter panel, the factory quarter panel. It's kind of a little bean-shaped type of piece, and that bean-shaped little piece right here fits through the back of this quarter panel, and it then sits right here to actually cover this section right here, which is like a gaping hole where you can put your hand through it. I'm not sure if I have enough light here for you guys to see it, but I'm going to take you around just to show you what I'm talking about. This is the section right here that I'm telling you about, right down here. And that is where my hand is going through right here. And this actually is what covers that. So you're going to put it through the back side of the quarter panel, and let me bring my camera through here to show you. And it should fit right in there like that, and then it seals that section right there. All right. So that's the first part that I wanted to cover with you guys, to show you the difference between the OEM panel and the aftermarket panel. Okay, let's go to difference, a little section right here also, which is different. On the OEM panel, okay, this little step between of the post here where it goes, it has a little step here and then another step. that does not come pre-cut on the factory, on the, sorry, on the replacement quarter panel. That is actually something you're going to have to do to pre-cut this to fit here and to kind of wrap around the post right here. So be prepared to do that as well. I was able to remove the factory quarter panel without destroying everything, so I used that as a template to come back and cut this here, and that actually made it look a little bit better because it's pretty tight. It's a pretty tight fitting right there, and once it's all welded and smoothed out, it'll be pretty cool. All right, second difference. Second difference is that the lip right here is not tall enough, so it's not going to reach the top of this lip, which is the inside piece of the door. So when you put your quarter panel in here and you line everything up, especially your door lines, this here is not going to be as tall as this piece here, but that's really, I don't think, a big deal. But just, don't be alarmed if all of a sudden you see that it's not tall enough, it's just not reaching where it's supposed to reach. And so that's that. The other section right here is this. So the way it comes pre-cut over here, it does not actually meet the roof as it goes down. There was a very large gap right here. So this part right here does not quite meet this section here as it should. So therefore it doesn't match. So I had to cut the piece out of the original quarter panel. And then once I cut the piece out of the original quarter panel, I drafted it in here so that I could have a nice tight fit into that corner right there. Obviously, it's not finished. Once it's stitch welded correctly and sanded down, it'll look good. All right, so what else? Let's go down here. So I'm going to take you now to an area where it is kind of disappointing as well. I replaced the inner fender on this as well, but the pinch weld down here, and I'm trying to get my camera to get into. This angles right here are not matching correctly. So the pinch weld, once you force it to go against this section right here to go against the pinch weld, it kind of distorts a little bit. So once I get it all stitched up, I'm gonna have to, kind of shave off part of this lip right here, just to make it match the actual original pinch weld there. As far as the inner fender, that fits fairly well. Once you pinch this here with the vice grips and bring it into place, that's perfect. That does fit very well. Same here, everything fits very well. Same back here. This actually also fits well once you bring it in. But here is where my nightmare is. Let me move my camera here so that you guys can see this. Just give me a second to bring my camera down to the level that I want it so that you guys can see this. This has been the pain of my existence here, and I am really having a difficult time trying to figure out a way to fix this issue back here. So if anyone wants to chime in and give me some ideas, I'll be more than happy to go through those. I appreciate it. So let's talk about this. This body line right here does not match the body line of the quarter panel as it comes down to meet here, okay? I showed you on the other quarter panel before where they both meet and they meet perfectly and there's no issues on that. So on this one, and I'm going to try to move my camera again to give you a better shot at it. So on this one, it doesn't match. It just simply does not match. And I'm going to bring it in as close as I can. I don't know if you can see it there, but this angle comes down to down here. It should be way up here to this body line. Instead, the angle or this curve comes down and sits way down here below that body line of the taillight panel. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. The next section here is this. So as you can see, this is the actual panel that is the aftermarket panel. And right here, there's a gaping hole because the panel is not cut to match this part, which is the top of the taillight section. That right there is another problem with this quarter panel. It does not match. Okay, now as far as this section right here, where I put this piece of tape here, I put this piece of tape here because this curve, as if you put your hand on it and you follow this curve here like this curve, it starts to plane out this way, as it goes to this section right here. And as it planes out this way, it does not match what comes back from the roof. It does not match what comes back from the roof. The angle right here is not the same as this angle back here where the actual roof line comes down. So that I'm going to have to massage, make it work, blend it in, whatever, I'm not sure. It's just going to have to be done in a way where it's not very noticeable. I believe that I can do that with some body work, but I'm going to try to keep that body work to a minimum, so there's still some work to be done over here. Those are the biggest changes between a aftermarket quarter panel and a OEM quarter panel. So be prepared. Do not throw away your quarter panel when you take off the old one, because if it's an OEM quarter panel, you want to save it. You're going to need some pieces out of that to be able to get this to sort of match correctly. I've never done this, like I said before. Excuse me. And so this to me is new, and I'm doing my best to do the best possible job I can and to make it look as close to original as possible, and for it not to look like it was butchered up, but to actually that it fits nicely in place, and that there is no lines that stop matching or they don't line up correctly or whatnot. The last difference or change in this quarter panel that I would like to point out, and this probably only people that have Datsun 510s know about or have actually paid attention to it, is that, I don't know if you can see it, but below this body line right here, there is another body line. And I'm going to put my finger on it right here. This body line that comes right here. It's like a slight bend on the quarter panel, and it sits below this body line right here. This body line is supposed to go all the way to the back of the quarter panel and continue, and then it starts to fade out somewhere around here. Instead, this quarter panel, that line begins to fade out here. So from here to here, there is no line. It's disappeared. The quarter panel doesn't have it. The mold, I suppose, only stopped that line here. It did not continue the line all the way to the back. No big deal. I'm sure I can work that on with the body work. As far as the trunk gaps are concerned, yeah, the trunk fits very nicely. Once you put the quarter panel where it goes, regardless of the flaws that it has, the trunk will fit correctly. and my gaps are good. One thing I did before I started taking quarter panels off and all that stuff is I actually went through my original gaps and wrote down what my gaps were so that when I put my new quarter panels, I would be in the same location, pretty much close to it or as close as I can. I am maybe 1 millimeter off on those gaps. And I'm sure that's because this car has been painted more than once. It's been painted twice. So between the primer and paint and clear, there's got to be some differences there. The purpose of this video was just to show you guys where the differences are. Like I said, if there's anyone out there that can share some of their expertise and how to fix these issues, your advice will be greatly appreciated. I want to thank you again for watching my video. I hope this was helpful for everyone trying to do this. If you've never done this before, don't be afraid to do it. Just get yourself organized, get familiar with the tools you're going to be needing. Bring with you a lot of patience. Put on some good music, in your garage, and just take it easy. And when you find a spot that you just don't know what to do, you're absolutely, stumped, like I am on the other side, just walk away. Just walk away, let it be. Come back, try to look at it with fresh eyes. Don't rush yourself. Don't take any shortcuts. If you're going to do a job this big, I recommend, please be patient. Don't take any shortcuts because you're going to regret it later when the car is painted and you're looking at it and you say, oh, I could have done that better. And so that's where we are. I want to thank everyone for watching my video today. I hope this was helpful. Like I said, I've never done this before, so this to me is all new. I'm learning as I go, but if anyone has any good ideas, please let me know. I'm sure I also done a lot of things that were wrong, but at this point, I think I've done a fairly good job with this panel. I'm going to try to do the same thing on the other side. Thank you for watching my video. Have a great day, guys.